January 9th, 2024, Detroit, Michigan. A normal school day. On the street where nothing seemed out of place. A yellow bus pulls up. Kids step off one by one. Backpacks, laughter, routine. And then a 13-year-old girl walks away. Her name was Nysiah Harris. And that moment would be the last confirmed time anyone ever saw her alive. No screams, no witnesses stepping forward, just silence. The kind of silence that only gets heavier as the days go by, because Nysiah didn't just disappear, she vanished into something far darker. That morning started like any other. Nysiah got on the school bus, hair in 2 braided puffballs, clear framed glasses, a white sweater layered under a black jacket, and a colorful Rugrats coat with a fur-lined hood. There's video of her boarding the bus. Nothing unusual, nothing alarming. At school, everything seemed normal too, but behind the scenes, something was already in motion, because sometime during that day, Nysiah sent a message, not to a friend, not to family, but to a man she planned to meet after school. When the final bell rang, Nysiah walked out of her school in the exact same clothes she arrived in. There's video of that too. She didn't look afraid. She didn't look like someone in danger. But what happened next would never be captured the same way. Because after she left that school, she met up with Jarvis Butts, a 41-year-old man. Someone who wasn't a stranger. Someone who had already been in her life. They didn't stay in one place. They moved from Detroit to Ypsilanti and then back again. Phone records would later confirm every step, every location, every movement, but not the moment everything changed, because after that night, Nysiah Harris was never seen again.
Detroit police tonight leading the search for a teenager middle schooler who disappeared last month. In an unusual display of force this afternoon, DPD, Detroit Public Schools, police, and cadets did a grid search. They went door to door, handing out flyers, hoping to find Nysiah Harris. This investigation is picking up in intensity. Local 4's Rob Maloney joins us now live this evening from the area police searched with for the latest for Nysiah's family. Rod?
Yeah, they were all over this neighborhood, Karen, and this is the flyer that they were handing out. Nysiah Harris, black female, age 13, 5'2", 130 pounds, and there is a real desperate belief that she could be found, and that's what her grandmother, an adoptive grandmother, Annette Harris, told me today.
We can't rule anything out, and I'm hoping and praying that that is not the case. I'm standing on my face. The God is going to bring my baby home, but it's been really rough.
Nysiah's mother found herself in trouble, and Annette adopted Nysiah to provide a better life. Neither Annette nor Detroit police can figure out how Nysiah, an 8th grader at Joseph Clark Prep Academy, disappeared in the short steps from her bus stop to Annette's home.
They have, footage of her getting on the school bus, and the bus driver did say that she did get off at her regular stop, okay? And she was supposed to have been coming home, like she normally do, every day.
Detroit Public Schools police started the investigation on January 10th, the day Annette reported her missing, but they hit a roadblock this week and brought Detroit police into the case.
When a child is missing, you got to look everywhere. I had no idea that it was going to be here. I was just told that this is where it was going to be.
For a 13-year-old girl in Nysiah?
So they searched here at Shoemaker and Garland on the east side, about 4 miles away from where she disappeared. And Annette Harris has a message for the person or persons who may know what happened to her granddaughter.
Nysiah needs to be home with her family, and we love her. So if you are harboring her, there is a law for that. And I'm asking that whoever has any information about my granddaughter to please contact the police. Please, I'm begging you.
Now, the Detroit Public Schools Police Department chief told me today that he doesn't believe that she was abducted, but they cannot be sure. So they've called in Detroit police. They've also asked the FBI and the Michigan State Police to join them. Take one last look here at Nysiah Harris. If you know where she is, DPD wants to hear from you.
Hours passed, then more. At some point between 9 p.m. and after midnight, Jarvis Butts checked into a motel. There's a receipt, there's phone data, there's proof he was there, but there's one thing missing. Nysiah, no footage, no sightings, no calls, no messages, nothing. And by the next morning, January 10th, something even more disturbing would surface, because investigators would later place him near the Rogue River.
Law enforcement wrapping up their search efforts today for a Detroit teen that's been missing for 2 months. 13-year-old Nysiah Harris, last seen early January.
Several law enforcement agencies gathering again today to search the Rouge River. Their focus behind Greater Grace Baptist Church near 7 Mile and Berg on the city's west side. This marks the third search effort in a week.
Last week, police searched a body of water in Clinton Township, and yesterday they searched the Rouge River on the city's west side. 7 Action News reporter Whitney Burney has been watching the search all day. She brings us the latest from the site.
The search got underway earlier this morning with divers meticulously combing through every inch of the river. It's unclear what tip police received that led them here, but they say they're hopeful they'll be able to bring closure to Nysiah's family soon. While fighting back tears,
I lost 2 sons already recently.
Mervyn Jennings, father of Nysiah Harris, is pleading for his daughter's return home.
It's a lot, but she was like a beautiful child, just a beautiful child. I go out every day. We pass out the flyers. I read the comments. I look at this. I look at that. I'm out. I'm talking about me and the commissioner.
The 13-year-old has been missing since January 9th. Police say she was last seen getting off her school bus at Cornwall and 3 Mile Drive, just a few minutes walk from her home on the city's east side. Police Commissioner Tamara Smith, a close friend of the family.
It's not normal for a 13-year-old to be missing over 2 months. There is no sign of life. There is no social media communication. There are no friends who've heard from her, no family. It's not normal.
Last week, police began searching a pond in Clinton Township in connection to the teen's disappearance, and yesterday they searched the Rouge River area on the city's west side. Tuesday, investigators and dive teams from Detroit, Oakland County, Monroe County, and Michigan State Police, among other agencies, returned to the Rouge River, focusing their efforts on a portion of the river near 7 Mile and Berg Road.
There is something very specific about this area that we want to take off our list, and that's why we're here today. Unfortunately, as time goes on, it does start to look more like a recovery effort. We're prayerful that that's not the case. But we know how these things unfortunately play out.
Nysiah's father and stepmother watching nearby, hopeful to wake up from what's felt like a nightmare.
Was over there spending the time that I could. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. They won't even talk to me now. That side of the family, they won't talk. Something is up.
Police concluded their search here at the Rouge River around 3 o'clock this afternoon. As always, if you have any information in this case, reach out to Detroit Police.
Days turned into weeks. Search teams combed through areas across Detroit. Then a break near 7 Mile and Berg Road, close to the Rogue River. They found something: clothing, a school ID, items that matched exactly what Nysiah was wearing that day, but not her. Just pieces, fragments, evidence of a moment that no one witnessed, but everyone could feel. And some of those items showed signs that something had gone wrong, very wrong. As investigators dug deeper, a disturbing picture began to form. This wasn't random. This wasn't sudden. This had been building for months. Messages, explicit conversations, a secret connection between a grown man and a child, and then a detail that changed everything. Nysiah had told him she might be pregnant. Phone records showed what he searched next: abortions, pills, even toxic substances. Questions that don't get asked unless something is already out of control. And suddenly, her disappearance didn't look like a mystery anymore. It looked like a decision. Investigators pulled everything: surveillance footage, phone data, witness statements, hundreds of gigabytes of evidence, every piece pointing in one direction. Nysiah never came home. She never contacted anyone again. No social media, no trace, nothing. And for a girl who had never gone missing before, that silence said everything. Authorities came to one conclusion: Nysiah Harris was gone.
Testimony from another child today alleging sexual abuse by the same man accused of killing 13-year-old Nysiah Harris. And we're learning of new DNA analysis that could determine whether Jarvis Butts goes on trial for murder. Sean Lay following today's hearing for us. And Sean, this chilling case, it just keeps getting worse and worse as we learn more.
Chilling is a good way of putting it. Stomach turning also. Every witness, every hour here at the court. Here's what's new about this today.
This is the first time we're hearing the voice of Jarvis Butts. He is 41 years old. He is accused of the sexual abuse and murder of a 13-year-old girl named Nysiah Harris. She was related to one of Butts' many girlfriends, and he called Nysiah his niece. The teen was last seen with Butts after school last January 9th. Then Nysiah Harris went missing. Police brought Butts in for this interrogation during a search for her, where Butts told police everything he knew about the girl was on his cell phone that police seized during a search warrant. You have to listen very closely to pick up what Butts is saying, but he says he has nothing to hide.
Everything is in my phone. Y'all have possession of my phone. Take a look at it. Go through it. So I don't know what that's about. I don't know why would she say it.
A co-worker of Butts testified that Butts and Nysiah Harris were at their auto repair shop the evening Nysiah Harris vanished. But Butts told investigators the last time he saw Nysiah was weeks before.
Yes, he stated to me that he had last seen her at the end of December or early January sometime at the grandmother's house getting her hair done.
Okay. And did he say anything about knowing where Nysiah's bus stop was?
Yes.
Okay. What did he say about that?
He said that her bus stop was at a 3 Mile Drive in Cornwall.
Back here live outside 36th District Court. Keep in mind, everyone, this is not a trial. It's a preliminary examination to see if a judge will move Butts on to face a murder and sexual assault trial. It's going to continue tomorrow. What's happening here is that there's no body to point to. Nysiah Harris's remains have never been found, so prosecutors are taking their time to link every dot they can to this defendant.
Nearly 2 years later, February 12, 2026, just weeks before trial, Jarvis Butts pleaded guilty, second-degree murder, multiple sexual assault charges. A deal was made. In exchange, he would reveal where her body was, give her family closure, something they had been waiting for. Since that day in January, he was sentenced 35 to 60 years. It should have been the end, but it wasn't.
Welcome back. In more news tonight, Jarvis Butts, the man who pleaded guilty to the murder of Nysiah Harris and multiple other sex assault cases, will spend the next 35 to 60 years in prison.
That decision came today after some of his victims were able to confront him face to face. Our J. Scott Smith has more on an emotional day in court.
It has been 2 years and 2 months since I report Nysiah missing. I want you to know that my life will never be the same. I had to remind myself that my niece Nysiah isn't coming back.
I hope that every victim and my niece and nephews can heal.
Jarvis Butts sat stoically in a green jumpsuit, a mask covering his face, his arms and legs shackled as one by one women spoke of the impact the 43-year-old child predator has had on their lives. Butts will spend the next 35 to 60 years in prison for killing 13-year-old Nysiah Harris, bringing an end to years of terrorizing young girls. A number of people were ejected after an argument broke out. Harris's grandmother, Annette Harris, her aunt, Marquita Harris, along with Butts' sister, Tijuana, as well as some of Butts' previous victims, all giving powerful impact statements.
My brother knows that I've been victim of sexual assault, and he knows the pain that it causes. I can't understand why he would want to cause that to an innocent child.
Butts sat silently, saying nothing when given a chance to speak at the end. Butts and Harris knew each other because he was the father of her cousins. She disappeared on January 9, 2024 when she didn't return home from school. Butts, whose criminal history goes back to 1997, had a history of targeting and befriending women, then getting close to them before eventually grooming and sexually abusing their daughters. And it appears that all that may have finally ended with him being let out of that courtroom in shackles.
I hate you. I wish nothing but the worst for you. I despise you.
Each of the powerful voices that spoke during this sentencing hearing today expressed one clear theme, that a man like Jarvis Butts does not need to see the streets again. And thanks to this plea deal, he very likely will not. Outside of the Criminal Justice Center in Detroit, I'm J. Scott Smith for Local 4.
Because just weeks after sentencing, inside a prison facility in Michigan, Jarvis Butts was found dead.
Breaking news from CBS News Detroit.
Breaking news at noon, the man convicted of murdering 13-year-old Nysiah Harris was found dead in his prison cell this morning. A spokesperson for the Michigan Department of Corrections says they tried to save Jarvis Butts' life, but were unsuccessful, and that at this time it appears to have been a suicide. This happened at the Charles Egler Reception and Guidance Center in Jackson. Back in February, Butts pleaded guilty to the murder of Nysiah Harris on your screen, along with 5 separate sexual assault cases. Harris was reported missing in January of 2024. The 13-year-old's body has never been found. As part of a plea agreement, Butts had to disclose what happened to her. He was sentenced to 60 years in prison earlier this month.
Now to our other big story at 5. Jarvis Butts, the man convicted of killing 13-year-old Nysiah Harris and sexually assaulting her and other girls, is dead after weeks after being sentenced. His body found at a prison intake center in Jackson. Fox 2's Lauren Edwards is live in Detroit with reaction tonight. Lauren.
Rube, just as you said, Jarvis Butts was found dead, and this happening 2 weeks after he was sentenced for killing Nysiah Harris. And just the location of her body is basically, at this point, it's a bit of a mystery. Detroit police are on it, but let's get into all the details because there is so much that you need to know. Now, this is the Charles Egler Reception and Guidance Center in Jackson. It's a prison intake center where the Michigan Department of Correction confirms that Jarvis Butts' body was found 2 weeks ago. 43-year-old Butts was sentenced in the murder of 13-year-old Nysiah Harris, sentenced to 35 to 60 years. He pleaded guilty to second-degree murder, and as a part of the plea deal, he was supposed to provide information as to where her body was. And Wayne County Prosecutor's Office says he did exactly that. Harris was last seen in January 2024, and prosecutors say she met up with Butts the day that she disappeared, and she was pregnant. Allegedly, Butts, the father of that child. And fast forward Thursday, MDOC says he took his own life. MDOC says the staff tried to save his life but were unsuccessful. Fox 2 spoke with Harris's cousin Roxy, who was out of town, about what happened and the concerns the family still has.
We ultimately, want to still know where she is because we still don't have those answers. We just want to lay her to rest and things like that. So there's still a lot of unanswered questions, and him doing deciding to take his own life was unexpected, literally 2 weeks after the sentencing. He made his bed, he got to lay in it. I think it was a bit of a cowardly way out, but he made his bed, so he has to lay in it.
So again, the prosecutor's office saying that Butts did provide information, and then she referred us over to Detroit Police Department, and we spoke with DPD, and they say that they are investigating, they are searching for her body, and that they are looking into every lead. Please stick with Fox 2 as this continues to develop. Reporting live here in Detroit, Lauren Edwards, Fox 2 News.
Yeah, Lauren, I know that obviously people who are being transported are being supervised. Any idea as to if this happened at a time that he just wasn't being watched, or any of those details?
Ruth, there's so many questions as to exactly how this all unfolded. Those are questions that I have, that you have, that we hope to get answers about, when and how all this exactly happened. So all I can say at this time is that please continue to stick with us. As I get these updates, I will be delivering them.
Ruled a suicide. Just like that, the one person who knew everything was gone, and with him, the truth, the location, the final answers. Nysiah Harris still hasn't been found, and somewhere out there is a story that was never fully told, a story that ended in silence, the same silence that started it all. Alright y'all, there y'all have it, man. That's the crazy story of Nysiah Harris, man. May she rest in peace. The dude that did that, man, he went out like a coward. You already know, man. Drillers and trappers, man. We outside trapping and drilling 247. Don't go nowhere. Watch that next video. Gang!